Worst billionaire deaths ever. Hamish Harding. Our first story is from 2023. Still recent, still in memory. Hamish Harding, British billionaire. This guy isn't just counting money in an office, he's out there doing extreme things. The kind regular people read about and go, I could never do that. Hamish Harding flew into space on Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket, spent minutes in microgravity, looked down at Earth from the edge of space. One of a select group. He holds 3 Guinness World Records, longest time navigating the Mariana Trench, the deepest ocean point, fastest flight around the globe crossing both poles, been to the South Pole multiple times, done every extreme thing a billionaire can do. He's lived an adventurous life. On June 18, 2023, Hamish Harding is about an hour and 45 minutes into a descent to the Titanic wreck site. He's in the Titan, a submersible operated by Ocean Gate. Carbon fiber vessel about the size of a minibus. 5 people inside. Hamish Harding, Pakistani billionaire Shahzad Dawood and his son Suleiman, French diver Paul Henry Nergelet, and Stockton Rush, the CEO of OceanGate. Contact is lost at about 1 hour and 45 minutes into the dive. Over the next few days, the world holds its breath. Search and rescue teams work frantically. Maybe they're still alive. Maybe oxygen lasts. Maybe there's hope. On June 22, 2023, the Coast Guard confirmed the Titan suffered a catastrophic implosion at approximately 4,000 meters of depth. The submarine collapsed like a soda can. Nobody survived. Nobody could have. Then investigators, reports, inquiries into what went wrong. The findings are damning. OceanGate knew the submersible had structural issues. Safety was not a priority. Cutting cost was. The company operated on a shoestring budget. Basic safety protocols were ignored. Safety regulations are treated as optional, focused on getting people down to the Titanic, not on ensuring that they came back alive. Hamish Harding, a man who survived space, survived the deepest trench in the ocean, survived extreme cold, survived extreme pressure, died because a company decided safety regulations were too expensive to follow. Cline. It's July 4th, 2019. Now, and if you're a coal billionaire from West Virginia, what better way to celebrate Independence Day than with a helicopter ride? Cline definitely thought so. Cline was a big deal. And when I say big deal, I mean he built an empire from coal that made him one of the richest men in West Virginia. He founded the Cline Group, Foresight Energy, and basically owned chunks of the coal industry. The guy wasn't just wealthy. He was the kind of wealthy where people knew his name and his business ventures. When you get to that level, you deserve to celebrate on the 4th of July the way only a billionaire can, by taking a helicopter ride in the Bahamas. So there he was, flying from Big Grand Cay at 2 a.m. in the morning, yes, 2 a.m., because apparently billionaires don't believe in normal schedules, heading to Fort Lauderdale with 6 other people. His 22-year-old daughter, Cameron, was there. Some friends, the pilot, just a casual early morning helicopter trip over the Bahamas. What could possibly go wrong? Everything. Absolutely everything could go wrong, and it did. 12 hours later, when the helicopter hadn't arrived in Fort Lauderdale, people started to worry. And they were right to. The helicopter had crashed into the water about 2 miles off Grand Cay, landing upside down in about 16 feet of water. The authorities found 7 bodies recovered from the wreckage, 4 women and 3 men, all American. Cline and his daughter Cameron were among them. The truly tragic part? This wasn't some act of God or mechanical failure that nobody could have seen coming. It was preventable. It was a helicopter, in good weather, with an experienced pilot. And yet, somehow it ended up at the bottom of the ocean. Sometimes the most expensive things in life don't guarantee the smoothest landing. Sanjay Kapur. Let's shift gears here, because sometimes the most dangerous things aren't mountains or submarines or extreme situations. Sometimes the most dangerous thing is lunch. Or in this case, an insect that you swallowed during a polo match. Sanjay Kapur was a 53-year-old Indian billionaire, chairman of Sonia Comstar, a major automotive components manufacturer. Wealthy, successful, living the life that most of us dream about. And you know what happens when you're that wealthy and that successful? You get to do things like play polo in Windsor, England. Fancy sport, right? And apparently very hazardous when there are bees involved. It's a bright day at the polo grounds. The sun is out, the horses are moving with precision, the crowd is cheering, and somewhere above all that energy drifts a single, unsuspecting bee, completely unaware that it's about to become part of a strangely dark twist of fate. Sanjay is mid-match, fully concentrated, Maybe he's thinking about his portfolio, maybe his next business deal, maybe dinner. And then during play, he accidentally swallows the bee, just breathes it in. And a bee, when swallowed, doesn't simply accept its situation. It stings. Witnesses report that Sanjay suddenly exclaimed, "I swallowed something," right before collapsing. Doctors later concluded that it was likely an anaphylactic shock caused by the bee sting that triggered a fatal heart attack. Vyachaslav Taran. Let's talk about Russian billionaire Vyachaslav Taran. This guy was a crypto mogul, founder of Forex Club and Libertex, a massive trading platform worth hundreds of millions of dollars, based in Monaco, living the dream that most crypto traders fantasize about. On November 25, 2022, Vyacheslav was flying from Lausanne, Switzerland to Monaco, which, let's be clear, is a short helicopter ride, like a half hour at most. You take off, you have some champagne, you admire the Alps, and you land in Monaco. Life is good. Except, well, life wasn't so good. Life got really bad, and by bad, I mean he died in a helicopter crash that shouldn't have happened. Here's where it gets weird. The helicopter crashed in perfect weather, perfect visibility, an experienced pilot who knew what he was doing, a well-maintained aircraft. Everything pointed to a routine flight, and yet the helicopter just crashed into a hillside near the village of Aix in France. Now, here's the thing that might make this extra spicy. Reports indicated that another passenger was supposed to be on that flight. A mysterious VIP. Someone who decided at the last minute, you know what, I'm not going to get on that helicopter today. That person canceled. And then the helicopter crashed, with only Vyacheslav and the pilot aboard. Was it foul play? Was it a mechanical failure? Was it the universe's way of telling Vyacheslav that he really should have taken a car instead? Nobody knows. The investigation couldn't pin down a definitive cause. But Russian telegram channels, the most trustworthy sources, obviously started suggesting it was a cleanup operation. One more mysterious billionaire, one more helicopter, one more question mark. Javier Biosca. Again, it's November 22, 2022, but this time it's Javier Biosca, a Spanish crypto broker who made a classic billionaire mistake. He thought he could scam over 600 people out of 500 million euros and not face consequences. Javier was running a company called Algorithmics Group. His pitch was simple. Invest with us and we'll give you returns up to 25%, which, if you know anything about money, is not how money works. Normal investment returns are like 7 to 10% if you're doing well. 25%? That's either fraud or a miracle, and miracles don't usually have SEC violations attached to them. But Javier was charming. He had a cover story. He claimed to have hired some genius mathematician from Inditex Group, a quant algorithm expert who could somehow achieve these incredible returns through crypto magic. And people believed him. A lot of people. Judges, notaries, treasury inspectors, basically everyone who really should have known better. By the time the authorities caught up with him, Javier had scammed over 600 people. Not 60, not 160, over 600 people out of a potential 500 million euros. He was arrested in June of 2021 and then released on bail a few weeks before our story takes place. His court date was coming up. Justice was approaching. And Javier was, let's say, not handling the stress very well. So here's where the universe decides to write a punchline. Javier was staying at an apartment complex in Estepona on the Costa del Sol with his wife and son. Nice place. Golf course views, the kind of place where you'd expect a crypto billionaire to spend his last free days before prison time. Around 11:15 a.m. on November 22nd, Javier walked out onto the balcony of his fifth-floor apartment. A few minutes later, a hotel worker heard a thud. They found Javier's body in the common area below, and his death was ruled as accidental. Just fell. Leaned a little too far. Nikolai Mushegian. October 28, 2022. Meet Nikolai Mushegian, a 29-year-old software engineer and co-founder of MakerDAO, a massive cryptocurrency lending platform. Young, brilliant, wealthy, the kind of guy who looked at the future and saw nothing but possibilities. Nikolai was living in Puerto Rico because, of course, he was. It's beautiful and the tax situation is interesting. And he decided to go for a swim at Condado Beach in San Juan. Nice beach, beautiful day. What could go wrong with a quick swim? Well, here's the thing. About an hour before his swim, Nikolai posted a tweet, and this tweet was special. Let me read it to you. The CIA, Mossad, and Pedo Elite are trying to frame and torture me. My ex-girlfriend has hidden a laptop with evidence. I'm definitely not suicidal. Okay, Let's just sit with that for a second. 1 hour before his death, this man tweets that multiple intelligence agencies are trying to torture him. That's not the tweet of someone who's about to have a calm, relaxing swim. That's the tweet of someone who's experiencing some psychological distress, possibly some paranoia, definitely some very specific accusations about very powerful people. And then he went swimming, and he drowned. The official story is that he got caught in a riptide. He got dragged out to sea by a powerful ocean current and couldn't swim back. It happens. Riptides are dangerous. Contado Beach has a reputation for them, so an accidental drowning caused by a riptide is perfectly plausible. Except you've got a guy who, 1 hour earlier, was tweeting about CIA assassination attempts, and now he's dead. The conspiracy theorists absolutely lost their minds. The mainstream media said it was an accident. Friends said it was an accident. Authorities said it was an accident. But the timing? The timing made people wonder if maybe the universe was way less creative than we'd like to believe. James Crown. James Crown was born on June 25, 1953 in Chicago, into the kind of family where generational wealth isn't a buzzword, it's a lifestyle. The Crown family tree is basically a billionaire orchard, with branches heavy from money, influence, and decades of moving quietly but powerfully through America's business. But James wasn't the type to just sit on a mountain of wealth like a well-dressed dragon. He worked. He served on the boards of J.P. Morgan Chase, General Dynamics, and Sara Lee. He ran companies. He donated money. He built things. He tried to improve things. He stayed busy. Because when you're born into a family empire, you don't retire, you rotate. He also owned Aspen Skiing Company. Yes, that Aspen, the snowy playground where rich go to pretend they're rugged outdoorsmen while wearing $2,000 jackets. Crown fit into the world of mountain luxury, exclusive access, and quiet influence. Just a week before June 25, 2023, James and his wife were honored guests at a White House state dinner, the kind of event where the napkins probably have a higher security clearance than the average citizen. The circles he moved in weren't just elite, they were orbit level. Then came June 25, 2023, his 70th birthday, a milestone, a day that should have been filled with cake, laughter, and the comfortable glow of a life well lived. He celebrated with his family at the Aspen Motorsport Park in Woody Creek, Colorado. A controlled track, a place designed for thrill but managed for safety. He climbed into a spec racer powered by a Toyota MR2 engine, 165 horsepower of fun but not stupid speed. He'd driven race cars before. He knew what he was doing. This wasn't reckless impulse, it was a hobby, a birthday treat. He was driving the final straightaway. Everything looked normal, calm, controlled, even joyful. Then the brakes locked. Not a gentle slowdown, not a warning, locked. Wheels stopped turning. The car didn't slow. It slid. He lost control, ran through a gravel bed, and collided with a concrete barrier fitted with tires. The impact caused multiple blunt force injuries, and just like that, on the day he turned 70, James Crown died. His family present, watching a moment that should have been celebrated, turned into tragedy. The coroner ruled it an accident, but one detail sticks. Earlier that same day, Crown's son-in-law had driven the exact car. He reported the brakes were stiff, but functioning. Something changed. Investigators couldn't pinpoint a confirmed mechanical failure, yet the brakes clearly weren't working when Crown needed them most. Born June 25th, died June 25th. Same day, same date, a perfect circle, if you believe the universe is into symmetry. And that's it. Some of the strangest, most unexpected billionaire deaths ever recorded. Now I've got a question for you. Which one of these stories surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. Thanks for watching.